something hours. The sweat on my back's got my shirt soaked and sour. And oh, it's already gone. Second night's coming and I'm spinning back around. We're all caught up, can't hear or feel a sound. And oh, it's already gone. And here comes the feeling when you don't got nothing, and all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hide long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, is life's too short to be worrying about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. Got time but money's not something that's free. Seems the roll of the dice never rolls back to me. And oh, it's already gone. A bird in my hand, two cans in the other, start spinning around. Now here comes another, and oh, it's already gone. And here comes the feeling when you don't got nothing, and all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hide long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, is life's too short to be worried about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. And all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hide long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, is life's too short to be worried about you hurting for long. Whoa, it's already gone. Already gone. It's already gone. Go.
What is up, Jags fans? We are here for another night of a Jags United live show. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to actually try to do something a little sneaky tonight. We're going to try to catch Travis Holmes off guard and add him to the scene without him knowing. Oh, he caught it. He caught it. We tried to get him.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
You ain't got to stay ready. You ain't got to get ready when you stay ready. Come on.
We tried to catch him lacking there, but it didn't work. But that's okay. It's okay. We'll handle it. Obviously, Friday nights, my favorite night of the week because I get to talk to Travis. And we get to talk all things Jags. So
my favorite night too. Let's go.
How could it not be? So before we jump into all things Jags, first of all, Travis, how's everything going?
Everything's good, bro. I had a little fun night. Well, outside of helping one of my kids with their work with doing the parenting thing when you get a bad grade at school. I'm not saying which kids, so nobody get mad at me. I'm not snitching. One of the kids, but nevertheless, man. After that, we tried on Halloween costumes, making sure everything fits. So I even thought about wearing it on tonight, but I'm like, I'm not going to be a distraction like that. So. Well,
Travis, you're already a distraction because your takes are always so good. Okay, so we got to ask: are you dressing up for Halloween?
Always, bro. It's my favorite holiday, like legitimately.
And this year, what are you dressing up as?
All right. This year's a pirate just because Fat Kid Deals had like 80% off Halloween costumes, and pirate was just what I saw. I paid like I think it was like $12, bro, for a whole like
Wow.
legitimate like a whole with trinkets and everything else. It probably would have been like $70, like
Wow.
all of it. So I was like, yeah, I'm doing this. That's it.
I got to ask about the Echo shirt because me personally, I haven't seen an Echo clothing brand anywhere, and I want to say like 20 years. So like, is it is it
You don't
coming
spend much
back?
time out of the country. No, you don't spend much time out of the country, do you?
I do not. No, no. Look at me.
So I mean, also you could spend a lot of time out of the country. There are white people all around the world, not here. But yes. So my wife's Jamaican. We go to Jamaica. I mean, I've probably been to between Bahamas and Jamaica. You're probably talking 20 plus times. And yes, you will see a lot of the brands that you don't necessarily see here when you visit other places. That's kind of how that works, you know. But no, so yeah, I don't see it a lot over here, but I don't care about what we do here. I dress how I
I
dress.
like that. I remember there was like a Madden, like an old Madden, where like Echo was like one of the sponsors, and like
Mm,
they have like the all-star teams you could pick in Madden, and like Team Echo was like one of the teams, and it was like sponsored by Echo.
I got you.
So,
Man, that's
um,
taking it back, boy. I don't remember that at all.
no, I mean I was gonna Google it, but maybe I'll do it later. I've been when I was younger, I traveled a lot. My parents took me all around the world a lot when I was younger. So
Nice.
like I just kind of got burnt out. Like I've been everywhere. Like I've literally been everywhere. And like now that I'm like older, I'm like, I'm just trying to like plant my feet and like stay in one spot. So that's
No,
my
that's legit.
that's my
That's
excuse.
legitimate though. I mean, that
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Like we've already talked about it. I've been to every state, and I haven't gone to enough countries outside of the U.S. Like most of my visits to other countries are all like the islands because we live in Florida. You know what this is. I can get you can get a boat trip for $200 on a weekend and just see Barbados or whatever else, or Trinidad and Tobago or whatever. So it's just like seeing all these smaller islands that's around here is the easy start to kind of dipping your toe in the water before we go to Europe probably next year. And then kind of just figuring out from there. I'm just trying to see the world, baby. Let me come on, live your life, spread your wings.
Have you ever been to Costa Rica?
Yes, twice, I
Okay.
believe.
Yeah, I think I've been like 4 times, I think. That's where I would retire, I think, in Costa Rica.
Give it time, man. I'm saying you go and see some more places. Go to Panama. Go to Panama where it's a lot of U.S. presence and maybe you'll get some good food. And you might like it. I don't know.
Okay. I would love to be somewhere where I don't have to like talk to people. And if I could surf and I could eat fruit
Don't have
every
to
day,
talk to
fresh fruit,
people.
that's kind of what I'm looking for.
So you don't want to talk to people. You want to
Correct.
go somewhere where you're just being left alone.
Correct. Correct.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I know
Yeah,
it's
then
like it seems weird because we do YouTube and we talk to people like multiple
yeah.
times a week. So, but you know, I just kind of want to be left alone for a bit. And maybe I
You're
get
an you're an introverted extrovert. I already know what this is, man. You can be an outgoing person, and when it's party time, and you are that outgoing person. But you are, I don't know what to call it, like an inverted person. If you were in like in COVID times, you probably weren't going out very much, and you were just happy about it. Like it was just like being at home. I got you. See, again, we
absolutely.
haven't had this conversation at all. I didn't even know Jason like that in COVID times, and I can still call this from a distance. I got you, bro.
Let me put it this way. As like as this show is going on, I am downloading Call of Duty Black Ops 6. That's
Mm.
how introverted I am. So I'm really looking forward to the end of this show when I will be able to you know, do that. But
No, I got you.
so
Yeah,
so while
you're
you're
a lot like my
dealing
wife in a lot of ways. I got you, bro.
so while you're dealing with your child's grades, I'm going to be yelling at children via video games.
Good. Destroy their confidence and make them want to do something better in life. There's nothing wrong with that. You are doing the Lord's work, sir.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. All right. Well, Travis is awesome. If this is your first time watching the show, shame on you. But I'm happy you're here. Travis is here every Friday night. Travis is awesome. He's definitely tied for like my 8th favorite content creator. But with that being said, I'm completely kidding. Completely kidding. Everyone knows.
Man, I take respect.
Everyone
Top
knows
10.
Travis is my favorite. Everyone knows Travis is my favorite. He's got the Duval podcast. He writes for Big Cat Country. He's in the press box at Jags games. That's quite the credential right there.
Jaguars beat writer. We'll just call it that.
Okay.
For Big Cat Country. Right. I've changed that label recently.
Oh. Wait.
It's not like a promotion. It's just a different label. I'm not specifically a writer. I am now actually a beat reporter in that way.
So has anything changed as far as like your affiliation?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. It's just the fact that I was always a writer, and then I never had press access, and now I actually have press credentials, and I'm actually at the press conferences. I'm actually talking to the players, and that's what makes you a beat reporter versus just being a writer. So now I can officially say that because I've been doing it for 2 years, and that those credentials, hopefully, fingers crossed, ain't going nowhere.
That's what's always thrown me off is like you're an amazing writer, but like now, like. And maybe it's just me not paying attention until this season to you as like a speaker. You're also an amazing speaker on YouTube and all that. So it's hard. I've always had trouble like pigeonholing you as a writer because you do a lot of things well. So that's why I
never wanted to be a writer. I'm being honest with you, bro. I never wanted to be a writer. I like ball. I like talking ball. And the easiest way to talk ball is to write. So I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to write about this then.
I wouldn't say the easiest way. I would say it is
the easiest way to be verifiable, to be known, to be whatever you want to call it, credentialed, or get that little cachet, is to be a writer. And then you can and the easiest way to get press credentials is to be a writer. That's the hardest part. So yeah, I mean, I'm doing all the hard stuff so I can do the stuff that I love, which is actually this right here. This talking.
Well, credit to you for doing the hard stuff, because that's what I think differentiates people that make it like you and people that always dream about it like me. So props to you. Kudos to you. So that's I'm not looking for any validation. I'm honest. I'm honest. All right. So I want to get your thoughts on the Jags, obviously. That's why we're here. Although I could talk about anything and be happy, but we'll talk Jags because people are probably watching for the Jags. I've kind of felt like we don't plan this. It's not a secret. Like we can tell people, like we don't have an outline. We don't plan this. But what I have found I like is asking your opinion on the game in the previous week, because we don't get to talk about it until tonight, and then kind of move into the upcoming game. I have some clips from the Packers and the Texans game last week. I want to get your opinions on. So I like to get to the comments, but tonight I actually want to hear, because the Jags won, I want to hear from you first before we get to the comments. And this is a fan show. So if you're watching YouTube or Twitter, I know if you type comments in there, we can see them and we can read them. Fan interactive show. We try to get to all the comments. So get in the comments. Tell us your thoughts on the Jags and all of that. I want to get to all of that. Just before we get too deep into the show, and like so the people that just kind of watch for a few minutes and then dip out, I do want to say all of Travis's stuff where you can find him is in the video description. So I know it takes like 2 clicks, but click on the video description and you'll see all of Travis's socials. You'll see where to find him there. So before we lose anybody to ADD, I'm guilty of that. That's there. I wanted to say that. All right. So what were your thoughts after the Patriots game? I'm not even going to give you any like hints. I just want to hear it. Raw dog from you first. What were your thoughts on the Patriots game?
All right.
Maybe not the right word, but first one that came to my
mind.
mind.
I'm not judging. It's Friday night. They do what you got to do. All right. So the first thing I noticed, obviously, DB. I'm a defensive back. I'm a former cornerback, UCF. I'm always going to, my first comment, my eyes immediately go to the defensive secondary for Jacksonville. So you obviously see the fact that Darnell Savage is now playing every snap, and you don't see Antonio Johnson on the field very much. And I'm like,
who could have seen that coming?
Yeah, well, we all knew it was going to happen,
But
but
no one
the
was
first
willing
week
to
that
admit it. No one was
bingo,
willing to admit it besides me. I was
that's
sitting
it.
here, first show, I was like, Darnell Savage is not going to be playing nickel. I said that 100 times.
Well, I think I still do believe that that was the plan. I legitimately believe that that was the plan that they had, and the plan did not go well when they saw Antonio Johnson. Like it was Antonio Johnson's opportunity to take hold of that role, and he didn't. So I think that that was the initial plan, even if they didn't have the injuries. And then the injuries happened, and then Antonio had his opportunities and simply didn't take hold of the role. And Savage got back, and his first week he only had like 65-70% of the snaps. And then they were like, all right, so after he got his feet wet, after coming back from injury, they're like, all right, now, you're the guy at safety right now, even though that's not the role we wanted you to play at all, because that was the role you actually struggled in Green Bay when they put you in. So we wanted you to be the nickel. And then Jari and Jones also played really dang well at the slot cornerback, and that's what you want to see from Jarian. But it becomes a whole pigeonhole situation. Personnel, we got a little personnel logjam going on right there, so we're gonna have to figure out how that works out. But it is what it is. Nevertheless, it worked out this week, so I'm very happy for it. But we all saw Doug talked about it earlier this week when he basically said the plan moving forward is going to be Savage as the safety, and more likely than not, you're just going to see Antonio Johnson in dime situations. So if that's what it is, then that means Jarian Jones has effectively moved up to being your starting nickel. When he struggles, it is what it is. But you have to hope that his arrow is going to be pointing up the rest of the year. And I say when he struggles because he did struggle a few weeks ago. We know that, but nevertheless, he's going to have an up and down situation. That's how it is with rookies. Um, Linebackers, hey man, they played well. We know the linebackers played well, and everybody's kind of like up and down on Devin Lloyd because he had a lot of like good splash plays, but he also struggled a few times in coverage, and I was just like, ugh. He wasn't immediately finding the guy coming into his zone, things like that. So I was just like, the numbers look good, but everybody's going to remember those 2 or 3 splash plays where he just didn't find the guy in his zone, and that's what people are kind of pissed off about. Unfortunately, they finally freaking put Eric Armstead at defensive tackle for the majority of his snaps, and he hit over 50% of the snaps this week. And all of a sudden, his pressure rate just shoots up. Like it's over 30% pressure rate this week. And I'm just like, who would have thought? Who would have thought the guy who was a dominant defensive tackle and that was signed after being a dominant defensive tackle would have been dominant not playing edge? Wow. And I'm hoping that's the same going move.
Does it frustrate you that, like, not just the Armstead thing, but the Savage thing, and even like, and I know it's early, but with the Walker Little thing, does it frustrate you that like it's taken them 7 weeks to kind of do what we've all been saying?
It frustrates me because it frustrates me not because of the reasons you probably think it frustrates me.
Okay.
It frustrates me because I'm frustrated with the GM. It frustrates me because I have an issue with the Jacksonville Jaguars as it currently stands. And shout out to the Bowl Take, Dilla, Bowl City, Nate Tight, they were on this past week, and he kind of said it very succinctly, and that it's kind of what I've been hinting to all season, is the Jaguars have a lot of guys who are really good at specific things, and if they're not doing that specific thing, we have a big problem, and that makes you very, I don't know, that makes you very
one-dimensional.
I don't know, one-dimensional in very many ways, and it limits you in so many ways. And that's what it is with this offense. That's what it is with this defense. Even like they're limiting Ryan Nielsen's ability to do some of the stuff that he wants to do simply because you give him guys who. Well, now you have no rotational edge. All right, cool. So you're forced to have Trevon Walker and you're forced to have Josh Allen, being your only 2 guys playing nearly 100% of the snaps. Or you're going to play these subpar guys. And I'm not trying to, that's not demeaning. I'm not trying to be demeaning. I'm simply saying guys who are not those 2, who are obviously a downgrade, playing, 30%, 40% of your snaps at edge. Why? Why is this so dang difficult? Like, for real.
No,
we all know you have the money. Just bring in a guy, man. Bring in someone. Bring in me a rotational pass rusher and make this thing and move that can move the needle. And the fact that you didn't then force you to have to use Armstead at significant edge snaps, which is not good for him. And it goes down the line. We can go do the same thing on the offense. It's just made so much harder to coach these guys when you are forced to coach them in these individual ways, or it's just not, or none of your plans are going to work. Same thing with the offense. You have 3 running backs. Dearness Johnson is your best pass protecting running back.
By far.
I don't think it's close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I looked at literally every snap of pass protection, basically every Trevor Lawrence throw this season, this past week for the Duval dive. Please like and subscribe. We talked about this on this past episode, and I'm just like, dude, Dearness Johnson is your best pass protecting running back. Travis Etienne is absolutely your best pass catching running back because he can break so many tackles in open space, and Tank Bigsby is your best running back. As an offensive coordinator, what do you do with that? And then you have a running back in Tank Bigsby who runs best from under center, while having a quarterback who runs his best offense from shotgun. Everything is telling on itself. Like, you're forcing the OC, you're forcing the DC to tell on themselves just in alignment and personnel and everything. So all of that is what frustrates me, because this game was a good game against a sorry team. It's the 2023 Atlanta Falcons game. We talked about that last week. It is what it is. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do against a team that is actually a quality football team in the Green Bay Packers with a quality football coach in Matt LaFleur, who coached me here in 2008. He was our offensive coordinator at Northern Michigan University after I left UCF. So that's my guy. I love him to death. I love his family, all that. And I believe he's one of the top 5 NFL coaches right now, actively coaching. So if you're going to beat that guy, you have to be a well-coached team with talent. And I don't know that we're that. I mean, that's me parsing the lyrics. I don't believe we're that.
I mean, you touched on something that I think is like super important to kind of hash out just quickly, is like people get frustrated with the runs with Dearness Johnson, the pass plays in the 2 tight end sets, because we have skill at other positions. But you're right, and we keep using this word pigeonholed. It's because you're spot on with the GM. It's like, if you pass every time Dearness Johnson's in the game, the defense will know. If you run every time you have 2 tight ends in the game, the defense will know. So you have to sprinkle in things to keep the defense on their heels. And now everyone's going, why are we running with Dearness Johnson? Why are we passing with only 2 wide receivers out there? And it's like, it's because they have to, or the defense will know exactly what we're doing. So the offense is really in a bad spot on play calling because of the personnel they have. And it's not great. It is a situation that we're in. I do want to ask you one question as someone that is now a beat reporter. And then after this question, I do want to get to some comments, but I do want to ask you this. Is Keelan Robinson still alive? Does he still have a heartbeat? Is he still breathing air? Is he still alive?
He is still alive. He does still have a heartbeat, from what I understand. I mean, I haven't seen him, but that does not mean he does not have a heartbeat. And I mean, I don't think the mob's got the man. So yes, but I also think that this is his redshirt season. It kind of is, like, just to get stronger, get faster. Because I honestly assumed that they would have already activated him from IR, unless someone got traded, someone got seriously injured for a long time frame, something like that. Otherwise, it just feels like this is just sort of going to be his redshirt year to get stronger, get faster, just to understand the NFL game.
And it worked. And it obviously worked for Tank Bigsby, so it could work for him potentially.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right, I'm gonna fly through some of these comments here. UCF Jaguar was the first one in the chat, and that's so impressive. Because there's like a race to the first one in the chat, and he says tailgating for this stream right now. And UCF Jaguar and me both had that in common. Tonight was so I run a league. I'm a commissioner of a league with a bunch of schools in it. And last night was our flag football championship, and tonight was our volleyball championship. So essentially, my busy season is done. It's done because fall sports. Everybody wants to play fall sports. It's the first season. All the kids want to play. And it's just a lot. So as of tonight, I'm done being insanely busy as of tonight. So I was also tailgating for tonight. That may become evident as the show goes on, but we'll just leave that as a cliffhanger. Robbie Santa says, yo, Duval dive. Oh, he was in here before it started. Great reference. Great reference right there. Going to be at the Jags Vikings game. Would love to link up and join some tailgating. Any tips like when and where should I show up? Okay, so that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
I'm the king of tailgates and getting to the stadium. It depends on a lot of things. Are you driving home after the game is a huge question you have to answer. I'm a big proponent of not driving home after the game, as you guys can imagine. And I will tell you a little pro tip. Y'all ready for this pro tip? All right.
Yeah.
So there's a game day shuttle that picks for like $14 will take you to the stadium and then take you back to the pickup location. If you live near a pickup location, you can ride back without paying for a ticket. So to ride to the game, you have to show your ticket and to get onto it to go. But on the way back after the game, they don't care. They just like get home. We don't care. So you can actually Uber to the stadium for the same price that it is to buy a ticket. And then you can ride back on the bus for free. So what we do is we take a Uber. I live out at the beach. Me and my friends that go, we live at the beach. We Uber out to the stadium at like 10 a.m. We tailgate, we do it all. And then we ride the bus back to the beach for free. And it's the same cost. We get out there earlier. We don't have to ride a bus twice. So that's what I would recommend doing. And that's a pro tip right there. That's someone that's been going to every Jag game since 2010. That's what that is right there. So
and where do they find this information? Just let me ask that question for the audience.
Where do they find what information?
The shuttle for the shuttle, like where it picks up, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, the Matthews Bridge where it like comes down, like there's a big line of buses and there's like there's different locations. So you just get on the bus and obviously I'm friends with the bus lady because
the bus lady.
She's awesome. She's awesome. And so
you're friends with everybody, bro. You're a celebrity. Come on, man.
I don't have a problem making friends. I really don't. It's been one of my skill sets since I was young, and I'm a deficient in a lot of skill sets. So don't try to think that I'm something that I'm not. Okay. Q Revere gives $2. Thank you, Q Revere.
Let's go.
He says, if at first you're not first, try again. And he was the first super chat. So shout out to Q Revere. Q Revere then also says, I'm too chicken to taste this drunk.
My man.
All right, Travis, I don't want to take this to like a inappropriate spot, but yeah. I just gotta wonder, and maybe you don't have to give an exact answer. When was the last time you were just like pissed drunk? Like couldn't walk? When was the last, if ever, when was the last time you were in that situation?
Probably 6 years ago. It's been that long, and it was at one of my better friends, if not one of my best friends' wedding. Goodness gracious, it was in Barbados. Sorry, in Barbados. My friend is married to a moderately big celebrity.
Okay.
And like he's my friend from I've known him for 15 plus years. So it's just not like I'm friends with a celebrity. It is what it is. A person that's on TV does the politics, does this big show. All right, cool. And he met her while living in Orlando. So we got invited to their wedding. It was out of the country, and it was just an insane event. It really just was. And you got the babysitters. I mean, literally as part of the wedding party, they got babysitters that watch the children, and they're like, no, you have no excuse not to do all the stuff.
Wow. Okay. I like
and that. you kind of get into all the stuff, and it's like, oh man, I did a little too much. And that's yeah, it's a wrap. But it is what it is. But never since I haven't done it since then. So 6 years ago.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I will also say 6 years ago. I will also say 6 years
you
ago.
will also say 6 years ago and be a bold-faced lie.
I will also say 6 years ago. Brett Zimmerman says, hey, Jags, any chance you'll have time to do a preview for tomorrow? The problem with my Saturdays, especially this Saturday, is because of my work schedule, I have had no time to clean my house or mow my lawn. So tomorrow is my clean house, mow lawn, clean pool. I have a lot to do tomorrow. So I don't know if tomorrow is going to be a great day for me, but if you want to, I mean, we'll see. Hit me up. You never know. You never know. Life has a way. Life has a way. Corey T, who is, and a lot of people don't know this. Corey T, near and dear to my heart, dare I say, might even be blood related to me, is the reason why all of this has happened. So, just not to talk a lot, shocker, but I wanted to do a YouTube channel. And I wanted to do this, what I'm doing now. Unfortunately, I'm not in a financial position to pay for HD cameras, microphones. I'm not tech savvy. Corey T is all those things. And Corey T was like, you know what? Let me help you. And so we always shout out Corey T, because without Corey T, Jags United does not exist. So thank you, Corey T. Appreciate that.
Way to go.
Cam Boysworth says, let's go. Can't wait to be at the game Sunday. Trap game for Greer. Oh, yes, it is. And we start our run toward the playoffs. All right. I'm getting back to that, Travis. I'm getting back to that. I feel like this will be weather vane that tells us which way the wind blows. Ooh, this is a great analogy. For the rest of this year, we need to win to stay competitive. But if we do nothing, we should be out of reach. But if we aren't, I want Travis to answer this question first, because I already know the answer. Is that an Ed White jersey behind you, Travis?
Yeah, that is a Northern Michigan University jersey. After I lost my scholarship at UCF, I went to a D2 school at Northern Michigan University for a year. That's where I met Coach Matt LaFleur and Bernie Anderson for my final year in college football.
I also lost my scholarship in college. But however, it was because my GPA fell below the scholarship standards, and it was after one semester. So we do have something kind of in common, but I wouldn't say quite. Let's just say I was allured to the college life a little too much when I was a freshman, but I soon turned it around. I turned it around.
Bro, I hated Reggie Bush my whole time in college because of the Reggie Bush rule at the time, before NIL and all this new money came in, they wouldn't let you have 2 scholarships. So I had a 4.4 GPA when I graduated high school. I had an academic scholarship and I had a full football scholarship, and they gave me no money. They were just like, nah, you got 2 scholarships. I guess you don't need this extra scholarship, so we're just going to keep this money. And I'm like, these new kids, these new days, they'll get to pocket that whole scholarship. And I'm like, so pissed. I was just born a generation late, bro.
You were. I mean, imagine how Reggie Bush feels.
I mean, that's a little different. I ain't do nothing but just be smart and play football. Freaking.
Yeah, that's true.
Feel bad
I
for
kind of
Reggie
backdoored
Bush.
it. I got into student government. And they gave me a little bit of scholarship for that. And then I wouldn't join a fraternity. So the 2-party system is even alive in the college ranks, which is hard to believe. Then they threw me on the judiciary branch, where I was a judge, actually a much better fit for me. So the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Yes, I was presiding over student conduct. I was presiding over all of those things. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being about to be kicked out of school, and you are like, all right, I got to make my case, and you're sitting in front of me?
You are Judge Party Animal. You are who is it? You are Brett Kavanaugh, or Clarence Thomas. I mean, he likes to party too, I guess. I mean, whatever. Dang. All right, come on.
It's like, hey, I know you.
That is fun.
Hey, it worked out. It all worked out. Tank is going to run on the Packers, the 1 weak spot of the Packers. All right, this is actually what I wanted to, and this can actually, now that we're 34 minutes in, we can actually show some film. Yeah. Which, if you're a regular here, this is not abnormal. Okay, this is not abnormal. But I do want to get your opinion on this, Travis, because I heard something. I heard it was on the local radio. It was a quick off reference to a Green Bay Packers podcast. It's like one of the biggest ones. I can't remember the name of it, but they claimed that the goal in the Packers-Texans game was to not let CJ Stroud beat you with his arm. So they said that they played nickel most of the game. And because of that, that allowed Joe Mixon to kind of have a ton of yards, which he did. But they didn't let CJ Stroud beat him. I think he had under 100 yards passing, and the Packers ultimately won. Sounds good in theory, but if you watch the game, the Texans really goofed on a 4th and 1 on the goal line, and they didn't score. So, like, I don't know if I can chalk up the strategy, but do you think that Tank Bigsby will have a good game this week against the Packers?
I don't know, man. Like that's a hard one because
Solid answer. Solid answer, Travis.
Well, I'm going to be real with you. Like, the Green Bay Packers defense is not a bad defense for stopping the run. They had a bad few weeks at stopping the run, especially like this past game, mainly, like primarily, because over the scope of the season, they're still top half of the league in stopping the run. And that's where it's weird to me. I'm like, yeah, if they play everyone in the secondary and they play nickel and all of these things that they feel like they had to do against CJ Stroud, I don't know that they feel like they're going to have to do that against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I'm trying to extrapolate what happened in that game onto this one, and I don't even see that as necessarily the same conversation. It's not the same strategy. So do I think Tank is going to have a big game? Let's assume for a second that Doug Peterson even wants to give Tank, I don't know, the 15 to 20 carries that he's actually going to need to have a good game. Sure.
Well, not to interrupt you, but he did say today that Etienne's not playing. So that does. He said he doesn't think Etienne will play. So that does factor.
Right. I thought they labeled him as questionable, so I still thought it was in the area as far as game time decision. But yeah.
So today,
leaning towards him not playing.
So today he went, and again, who knows? But I want you to continue your thought. But
I wasn't there. I was in court today, so I was not there.
Okay. So Doug Peterson called in with Frank Frangie, and they did a little interview, and he said that he doesn't. He expects Tank Bigsby and Dewey Wingard to play next week, but he expects Aluakon to play this week. So that's what he said. So
interesting.
And he also said he expects Cam Robinson to be ready this week as well. But you continue your thought on the offensive run for the Jags.
So now he's been forced to give Tank the reps, assuming Green Bay keeps the game close. Because if Green Bay takes the big lead and then they don't like Tank in pass protection, they don't like his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, so then you're kind of stuck not giving him the reps, and then we're back in the same situation we were in 2 weeks ago when he only gets 7 carries in the game because we're getting beat by 10 plus points.
Yep.
So assuming the defense can keep this game close and you give Tank the opportunity to keep just churning the clock, moving the yards, moving the piles, things of that nature, sure. I just don't believe that that's going to happen. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. I don't believe that that's going to happen. I think that Green Bay is going to win this game by 10 plus. And if that does happen, then Tank's literally moved, he's pushed out of the game just by the score. So short answer, that's it. I don't believe so.
Maybe Keelan Robinson will come off the IR and make an appearance in a game where we need another running back. That'd be crazy, huh?
Yeah, that would be crazy, especially since he hasn't been involved in game prep all week. Yes, that would be.
That's because he's not alive. The guy's not alive. I don't know if he's a real person. Has anyone ever even seen him? Is he even a real person?
Jamal St. Cyr, shout out. What is the News for Jax? He said all preseason that he thought Keelan was going to be cut by the end of the preseason. Cut. And I didn't believe him I told him he was crazy. I said it to him we had him on a Duval Dive one week, and I told him he was crazy when he said it then. And as the weeks kept going on and he stayed injured, he kept getting in, and he just stayed on the sideline. I'm like, you know what? You might be right, bro. It felt like he might get cut. And then all of a sudden he gets injured again late in camp, and it's like, all right, cool. They put him on IR. It's an IR stash kind of situation. That's what it felt like. So you're talking about him coming back, and I'm sitting there like, man, I don't even know if they even wanted him on the roster at that point. Unless they trade someone away, like an ETN or whatever else.
His college film was very impressive. I mean, even if you go back to he was an Alabama commit, played a little bit at Alabama, looked good at Alabama, transferred to Texas A&M, looked good at Texas A&M. I was fully sold on him. I mean, I thought that he was like the cheap Travis Etienne, to be honest, and I thought that's why they drafted him. And I think it was 5th round. So I mean, it's tough to throw away a 5th round pick. I liked his college film. That means nothing, but
That means nothing to guys who actually have their hands on him, and they've had their hands on him for weeks. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
well,
Well,
months.
and Tank Bigsby was running back 2 in college, and he's flourishing. So I guess college film doesn't at the running back position doesn't always translate to that.
And we just established that we love guys who are very limited, and like, so this goes right up that alley. He's a very limited guy who's he's a home run hitter, but he's not going to give you much more than that. You know, all right, cool. We can use another guy who only is good at one thing. 'Cause that's great. We could, instead of just grabbing someone who could be a 3-down back.
All right, well, let's take a look at what Joe Mixon did to the Packers. How about that? How about that? All right, so in this play, Mixon did, and admittedly, because I tried to give some context to what clips I clipped from the game, Mixon was just kind of like gashing the Packers for like 8, 9, 10, 7, 5, 8, and it was like, all right, at some point I have to clip these because this is like becoming a trend. Okay, so that's like usually what happens. I'm not going to go back in the game. So this is like probably halfway through the game. And I clipped it because in this formation, the Packers aren't really in hold on, I'm having little issues with my my draw tool here. Give me a quick second here.
There you go.
It's amateur hour.
Hey, it's fine. You got a mouse. You can just point to it. We see it.
It's not. Yeah, it's true. Let me try this again here real quick. Let me see if I do this. Hold on. I have an idea. See, I can outsmart. AI is not taking me over, dude. AI is not taking me over, dude. Not me. All right. So here I clipped this play specifically because they are in 3 linebacker set. So I mentioned earlier that they said on the Packers podcast that they were in nickel a lot of the time. This is a 3 linebacker set. Like this is it. This is a base formation. And Joe Mixon, again, this is like the play is not going to seem that impressive like by itself. But what I'm trying to say is like there was 10 of these plays before I clipped this one. Okay. So they're obviously in 2 tight end set. Again, I know it's not impressive. You know what? Let's not even worry about that play. Let's go to the next Joe Mixon play. All right.
Yeah, he still picked up. He picked up a solid amount for getting hit in the backfield.
Yeah, he did. Okay, so here, this is a nickel set. This is. I mean, and it doesn't fit my narrative as well, but you know, whatever. So they're in a nickel set. This is a DB kind of walk down, similarly to how the Jags did in the preseason. You got the Texans in my pistol formation, which is exactly how I would run an offense. I'd run a pistol with a tight end and another tight end because it's basically the modern wing T. And I don't think the wing T is stoppable if it's ran correctly and you have good offensive line, but that's a separate conversation for another time.
Right.
But in the pistol set here, a little pre-snap motion. Yeah.
That's funny. I just said earlier today that the Jaguars need to run more pistol.
Why are you not running pistol? I don't get it. They don't know which way the running back's going. Pre-snap. When you line your running back up here, he's very limited on what he can do. Like he can't go this way. You have to
run inside or outside zone.
Yeah, he can't go this way. So he's got to either flare inside, outside, a toss. And then if he does go this way, the play has to go more than 4 seconds, which you're okay with if you're a defensive back. Or you put your back behind the quarterback and you don't know where he's going.
Oh, crap. That's right. The Packers lost Quay Walker in the second quarter of the game.
Yeah, they did. And he leads.
That's why they went more nickel.
Yeah, and he's their leading tackler. So
yeah, forgot about that.
So we're here. Pre-snap motion. I mean, I mean that's not ideal. Travis, have you ever found yourself in this situation?
Absolutely.
And what's going through your head when you are about to hit the turf in this situation? What's going through your head?
You know exactly what's going through my head. Like that, and nothing more than that. That's all it is. You don't have time for much else. Just I hope they didn't get that on camera.
Yeah, I hope the coach doesn't pause the clip right when I'm falling. Is what you're thinking.
You know damn well they're gonna pause that clip in front of the rest of the team on Monday.
Yeah, so Mixon did go off against the Packers, but they still lost. The Packers still won. The Texans lost.
Yeah.
And Mixon probably had his best game of the year. We'll watch it one more time because I love running plays.
Mm.
I would run the ball. Dude, I would be a lot like Jim Harbaugh. I would just run you into oblivion. That's exactly what I would do. Let's go one more. This one's a little more traditional. A little under center. They got one tight end here. They got a tight formation, a pre-snap motion, a single back. Got one out wide here. This looks like three linebackers to me, right?
Yeah, that's the problem. I can't tell numbers.
But yeah, I mean, he looks kind
like
of beefy. That's kind of what I go off of. He looks kind of beefy, so I'm calling him a linebacker.
Another explosive play.
And that's the thing is, like, you're looking at this player like, oh, cool, he got like 12 yards, but like he did this all game.
Yeah. Houston helped them out by passing the ball on first down on the early downs.
Yep. Great vision here, because he had two options. He did have two options here. And this is what separates a guy like Joe Mixon from like your ordinary back.
Yeah.
Is like he actually cuts it back through the backside B gap.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
I might
impressive.
have to start tanking I may have to start tanking fantasy this week.
I am.
This is selling me a little more. Well, I still don't know that the Jaguars win the game. If the Jaguars can score, like if they have success early, then that's going to be because of Tank. If that makes sense.
Oh, for sure. Like they're going to
need one. Yeah, you only need one touchdown.
They're going to have to like, and there's another thing is like people are like, oh, because if you look at the Jags stats in the second and third quarter, they like ball, in the first and fourth quarter they suck, and it's because they defer every single game. And so it's like they literally get one less possession in the first quarter than their opponent every single game. So like that's obviously going to skew the stats. But I think going forward, you take the ball, try to control the clock, because that's what teams do against us. Remember the Browns did that against us? They were the same. They're on the same level as us talent-wise, but they controlled the clock, so they won. I'm convinced of that. And
no, absolutely. We talked about it at halftime that game. Yeah. We're in agreement.
And I mean, I think that's what you have to do. I mean, do I think the offensive line can impose their will like they did against the Patriots? Probably not, but give them a chance, right? What is that the strategy you would take? What would be your strategy to beating the Packers this week?
Ooh, you just took a page out of it at least. Like you have to shorten the game. You have to try to run the ball. Just because I don't think if this game gets into a shootout, I don't think the Jaguars win it. And that's me being like 100%. Like I've seen a lot of Jags fans say that the Jaguars are going to explode. It's going to be, and I'm like, no, man. You don't want. If the Jaguars score 3 passing touchdowns, I earnestly believe it's because they also have 3 turnovers in the air. Like, I think it's one of those things when you're facing a team that's this good at forcing turnovers. They're first in the league, 17 turnovers in 7 games. That's wild, man. And the last time the Jaguars faced a team that was similar to this, as far as forcing turnovers, it was the Chicago Bears, who were 4th in the league. And we saw the Jaguars had 3 fumbles forced, 1 fumble loss, and an interception in that game. Like that makes me nervous. That's nervous in my gut right there. So I'm probably enforcing that run. Yeah, trying to shorten the game, trying to shorten the number of possessions they have, hoping I can have some 6 and 7 minute drives. And defense got to get turnovers. Like that's true. I truly do believe that if the Jaguars can win the time of possession, I think we can win. But the fact of the matter is, the Jaguars have only won the turnover differential this season 1 game, and that was the Houston Texans. And we still lost that game. You know what I mean? Like I think their only way to win is if they win the turnover differential, not tied. They have to win it. Defense got to get turnovers. These 3 turnovers we've had all season, they ain't gonna work. Not playing against a team that you are probably gonna get. They're gonna force a fumble. They're gonna get an interception. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Let's just come to terms with that. So yeah, you lean on the run game on the offense. You try to shorten the game, help your defense out. Defense got to get a turnover for your offense to continue helping them bleed that clock. We become Cleveland Browns, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
against us. And we're trying to bleed the clock and try to score points in the meantime and just muck it up so bad that we win 17-14, 21, whatever, 17, something like that.
So I took I did a show Wednesday night with it's our Club Jaguar show with Jordan and Dalton.
Yep.
And we do our predictions with how like we always pick the spread, the winner, and the over under for the Jags game. And I'm like crushing them because I'm a gambler. So like I kind of know how things work. It sounds whatever. Like I'm not saying I always win gambling, but like I know how it works. And like they both took the chalk over. They both took the Packers covering, and that very well could happen. But like I actually took what you just said, and I said I think the Jags actually win this game, and the reason why they do win it is because they muck it up and they keep the game under, both teams scoring 20 points, and the game hits the under, and literally it's just this sloppy ass game where no one scores because as good as Jordan Love is, and he is very good at throwing the ball into tight windows, he actually turns the ball over a lot. Like he's up there with the league leaders in interceptions, and he missed a couple of games due to injury, and he's still up there in the league leaders in interceptions. And so I think this game will get mucked up because that's the way to beat literally exactly what you just said. That's how you beat the Packers is like you muck it up, you play the field position game. You play a bend but don't break. You hold them to a field goal if they have a good drive, and the final score ends up being 24-21. And you like and like that's how you beat them. And I'll show some film here because like I'll show you like this is not even from every single game. This is from literally last week. Okay, this is a Jordan Love throw right here. Okay, empty set, which I love. And again, I hate going back to how I would do things. And there's 214 people watching. Thank you, Travis. I appreciate that. That's awesome. I love that.
Right.
And so I would go pistol, wing set with tight ends, or empty. That would be my two formations. And you know what other wrinkle I would throw in? And this is not popular yet, but it's about to be. I guarantee you. I'd put two quarterbacks on the field at the same time.
Two quarterbacks?
Yes. Especially with this, like, I mean, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Every team now knows you have to have a quarterback who can run. So, like, and like, not only can you run, but you like they can take direct snaps and run quarterback powers and get yards. Like that's just what the position has become. Is you have to be able to do that. Yes, you can make it work with some guys here and there that don't do it, but there's guys out there that can do both. So why not have two quarterbacks on the field and have a guy who could throw it or run it and a guy who could throw it or run it? Like, I don't understand why we're not maximizing the players' skill sets. But
I don't know that it benefits you on trick plays and stuff like that, but I don't know how that really benefits you, like, unless you have a Taysom Hill, somebody who's running that, basically that wildcat offense or something like that, who can throw the ball. But
so what you're saying makes sense, but you're predicating it on what you've seen in the past. You brought up Taysom Hill. He's the only guy that we've seen in the last 40 years who can play multiple positions. But no team has ever tried to trot out Lamar Jackson and let's say you Snoop Huntley. If you put both of those guys in the backfield and your center could snap to either one, there's no strength to the field. There's no run pass cues. And literally you could go either direction, run any play you want. And both of those guys could run on a quarterback power, a quarterback delay, a quarterback draw, a screen, or you.
So you're saying two running quarterbacks?
Yes.
Okay, that changes the ball game.
Yes.
I see what you mean, though.
Yes, and then now another benefit is now both quarterbacks only have to read half of the field on every play, and so now you have two reads, maybe a third. Now you're actually putting your quarterback in an advantageous position. I promise you, Travis, it won't be for a few years, but it's only a matter of time before you see this happening. I promise you.
You are in Boise State dreamland,
I'm
like
telling you.
territory right now.
I'm telling you,
This
like
is
it's and you maximize the entire space of the field. Like you're playing all 50 or 60 yards of the field, whatever it is, because you're making the defense have to defend the run and the pass from sideline to sideline. You're not giving away cues to strength. You're not giving away cues to where you're blocking. I'm telling you, I'm not trying to get off on a tangent here, but
no, I got you. I hear what you're putting down. I would need to see it to believe it. Like I'm that guy.
so
I'm not the one that imagines stuff. That's why I'm a defensive guy, not an offensive guy. I'm the one that figures out how to break this crap. I'm not the one that I'm not the one that visualizes the philosophy or the new plan of how to figure this out. I'm just like, hey, no, this is what it is. How do you break it? Cool, I can do that.
okay, so I'm an honest guy. I'll be honest with you. Like I'm a critical thinker. What do you lose when you do that? You lose your running back because you're taking him off the
In
field for
passing
a
game.
quarterback. You're losing
Yep.
your running back who you could hand the ball to and who could like power through the line on an inside zone. That's the biggest thing you're losing is that power inside zone. And you're basically
And you're
losing
losing him in the
that.
passing game.
But with these quarterbacks we have nowadays, like they have the vision to find the open lanes and they can get through it. So I think the trade-off would just be marginal to put a guy back there who could throw it.
It feels very Wildcat offense, but with a better quarterback. That's what it feels like.
And a less good runner, because I'm a critical thinker. They would be a less. So you line up Derrick Henry and Wildcat.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, he could literally run me over and get 7 yards. So like you do lose that. But
you might legitimately have a guy who can throw 50 yards down the field.
Right. And like there is anomalies out there, like Cam Newton, who could run you over for 7 yards. I understand it's an anomaly, but like if you scouted correctly, I don't know. That's how I would do it because then
no, I got you.
You're a defensive coordinator that for 16 weeks out of the year plays the same defends against the same type of offense, and then the 1 week out of the year you have to play my 2 quarterback system. Yeah, you're losing that game, and you're okay with losing that game because you're like, you know what? I got 16 other games to worry about. I'm not worried about this revolutionary offense that's coming out here.
It is the Miami Dolphins Wildcat offense the first season that they brought it out. A lot of teams lost against them for that whatever it was 8-week time frame until they had like a bye week to figure it out or whatever. That's just kind of what it is. And the teams that figured it out were the teams that were in division because they had to face it twice. They had the time, again, their bye week to kind of just sit down and really figure it out. Cool. So this would be very similar. It won't be your real offense, but if you did it, I don't know if you brought that out in the playoffs or something like that. Yeah, maybe you have something teams don't have time to figure it out.
You're also not thinking about that divisional opponent that sees you twice. The second time you play them, you trot out Derrick Henry and you run that run offense. And now they've been game planning against your 2 quarterback system. And the second time you play them, you have Derrick Henry running them over for 7 yards. That's how you win in the NFL. And how
that you got Derrick Henry. I mean, the fact that I have Derrick Henry is already an advantage, man. That man's dominant.
Obviously. And what I would actually do is, as I would do that wing back, wing T, I would do that. Because again,
you want to be Georgia Tech, okay?
I do. I want to be Navy. But with the option of 2 quarterbacks in the backfield that also could spread the field, go either strong side. There's no weak side to the field in this offense. There's no weak side.
I got you.
Yeah.
No, I got you.
So you just find out where the weak link is on defense, and you just snap the ball to that quarterback and let him roll out that way. And he has the option to either run or pass to that side of the field until they adjust, and you go the other way. Tell me the weak spot in that offense. Like I know we're, but tell me where's the weak.
We are off on a tangent on this one. Yes, the weak spot of that offense is basically depends on how the defense wants to play it. So if the defense are truly going to give you that and they just want to play basic zone, then nothing materially changes on that. Like if they just play that, it helps when you're playing man defense. But if they just play their zone, you're just going to have 2 guys getting rushed, and as soon as you snap the ball, they know where their landmark is. Now you just have 1 less guy in coverage. That's really it. I'm just going to play basic cover 3 or basic cover 4 against you and just, all right, cool, do what you got to do back there. Cool. So you're going to have to beat me in that.
My quarterback will roll out and pick up 8 yards a play against your dropping corners on every single play.
How are they rolling out? I have defensive ends. They still exist. They still can play contain. That's no different. I play Lamar Jackson exactly the same way as I would try to normally play Lamar Jackson. I'm trying to contain. I'm playing in cage defense. I'm just trying to make sure he can't scramble outside of me. So that doesn't change.
Because you have a tackle who knows his role is to just kick step out 1 yard, seal block you to the inside. And now all my quarterback has to do is beat either a linebacker or an out of position DB to the sideline, which in my scenario I've created, Lamar Jackson or Snoop Huntley is doing that every single snap.
I hear you, bro. I'm gonna give you this one just so we can get back into the Jaguar conversation because we are out in left field in a scenario that's not going to happen for 3 years. This is a good conversation to have in summertime, though.
Okay, listen. I've always wanted to bounce this idea off of someone that knows football. That's all I wanted to do.
No. We can talk about it when we have some X's and O's, or have some you can draw it on the film, and we can actually legitimately talk about how we could defend that one. I think it'll be a lot more entertaining that way.
It's an RPO every single play. It's in an easier RPO. It's an easier RPO because if the linebacker comes at you as you're rolling out, your tight end or your drag receiver is wide open. If they sit, you pick up 8 yards. It's literally foolproof.
You just getting these dudes hit every play. That's all. That's the only fool about it. Like you said, it's foolproof, and it is. Other than the fact that you're making this dude take this hit unnecessarily every play. But sure.
All right, so bring in Taysom Hill and then just rotate him out. I don't know. I mean, there's a way.
Bring in Will Levis or somebody else like that. Yeah, sure. Okay. Just breaking news. Jaguars trading for Will Levis. Yeah. All right, cool.
All right, so here's where the Jags could pick up some ground. Like you said, I know we're back a while ago, but it's okay. I remember. The Jags could be able to force turnovers, even though they haven't. Jordan Love has shown that he will kind of throw the ball up for
he will give it to you
style. All right. So here's one. These are just from both last game. Here's one empty set. Yeah. And this turned into 6. So, and again, this is he just took the shallow dig right here. I know the shallow curl. Yeah. From the 3.
Read him the whole way.
Yep.
And shoot it. He didn't pick it. The freaking outside corner was. Oh, sorry. The slot corner was.
Look at him. He don't know what he's doing. Yep. Boom. Read that like a book.
Boom.
Read it like a book. That's a play you like to see as a defensive coach. That's a play you like to see.
I mean, the first part about that is he put it on the backside shoulder, but that was just a great play, him reading his eyes, man.
This nickel corner just
reading his eyes.
Yeah.
And baiting him. My back's to you. Nope, it's not.
Mm-hmm. That was a great play. Great play.
Whew.
Great play. Jordan Love, great tackle, Jordan Love. And then in the same game, this one's even worse. This one's actually bad. This one's actually bad.
We like bad.
Yeah, this one's not good at all.
Ugh.
Play action. Oh, we're going to run it. Oh, wait. I'm just going to lollipop it up in the air.
Well, he got hit while he was throwing.
Yeah, I just saw that.
You just realized it.
Yeah,
he got hit a little bit while doing it. He still shouldn't have thrown it. Realistically, I don't think it was really there. But I knew what he was. You think it's gone? You think it's gone?
Yeah, I mean, does he obviously adjust his body angle for the throw? Yes. I mean, and that's what ultimately probably leads to the interception. But to be fair, Jordan Love does. I mean, he throws a lot of accurate passes off his back foot at weird angles.
Right.
He is good at that. So he probably does.
Right. See, I thought his arm was getting hit on this one. I don't know. Maybe I'm off on that.
No, it wasn't. But he did adjust his
No.
body angle, which is obviously going to adjust the accuracy.
Yeah, that ball. I mean, that obviously just wasn't there.
Yeah. So
So
I mean, that's
no,
2 in 1 game. That's 2 in
yeah,
1
you're
game.
not wrong.
So
One egregious, one just, hey man, great play. Nevertheless, that's still two. But are we the New England Patriots?
yes, we're a little better.
You
We're a
know what I'm
little better.
asking though.
We're
You know what I'm
yeah,
asking
no,
though.
we're a little better. We're a little better. We beat them. We're a little better.
Okay, so for the Green Bay Packers, we're the New England Patriots, and I don't think I'm being unreasonable in saying that. So if we came into the game against the New England Patriots, said we're going to establish the run game, we're going to be dominant, we don't have to take chances squeezing stuff into crazy spots because no, we're fine. We know we know we can control this game, right?
That could happen.
In that way, I believe Green Bay sees the Jaguars as the Patriots, and they're just probably going to try to establish the run and just
Yeah. And
play
like
basic
Jordan,
football.
and Jordan Jacobs has been good. He has been. So like but I mean that's why I was gonna say one of my like keys to victory is gonna be stopping the run, and like and because
And we're good at doing it. Yeah.
yeah, I mean you're right though. I mean they're going to run the ball until they can't. You are spot on there. You are. But for the 2 bad throws we did just show, there's a reason why Jordan Love is in the top of the league in passing touchdowns. Okay. It's not, it's because he does make throws like this. And this is the Tucker Kraft, the tight end, who I don't know if you have him on your fantasy team, but I would start him if I were you because he will probably have 200 yards against us. So he's going to be lined up
against us, Lord.
Yeah. I mean, just a skinny post on a cover 2, just finds the seam. But look at this throw from Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Look at him. Look at me. Yeah. Get out of here.
Yeah. Anybody who plays fantasy, who needs any advice on who to play, always start the tight end that's playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. You just know that.
Yep.
Every week.
Look at this window.
Goodness.
Yeah.
And he sees it early too. Sees it early too. Look at the safety when he breaks on it 4 steps before that.
He's like, I got to pick. He's like, I got to pick. This is mine. I'm getting signed in the offseason. Nope. Perfect throw. Yeah. That one's kind of nasty. Not going to lie. This one could get us in trouble only because we play a lot of this man on the edge. And the DB gets beat here, but it's still a good throw by Jordan Love.
Yeah, our DBs get beat all the time. Whatever. Wait, was that man?
No, it's cover 4.
Yeah, I was about to say that wasn't man.
Yeah, that was cover 4, but they ran the I mean, I don't know if it was 4 verts. It was definitely 3 verts. And just froze the safeties. Forced the corner, like pre-snap. He's like, I have help. I'll give him an outside release. But didn't expect the 2 receiver to run this seams vertical, which froze the safety.
Held him at the hash. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and this is like a DB's got to know this. Like, and you were DB. Like, if your one goes this is the one. Let's do a little educating here. Just so not everybody knows. And we use terms sometimes that are. So when you are calling a receiver 1, 2, or 3, you read them from left to right like a book. So this is the 1 receiver. This is the 2 receiver. This is the 1. This is the 2. So the 1 receiver does an outside release vertical. The 2 receiver does a seam vertical. And the 3 does, I think it's a skinny post. I can't really remember, but it could be just a vertical. So what this does is if you're in a cover 2 or a cover 4, is it freezes your safeties. Like they can't vacate the seams because they have vertical threats. So your corner, thinking pre-snap he has help because the 4 verts isn't a usual play call, but it is a play call. You teach them to carry the vert until you see the safety help. He doesn't do this, and Dontavius Wicks and Jordan Love make them look stupid.
Well, this is weird because the corner at the top looks like he's also playing cover. Are we sure this isn't cover 2? So
it's not cover 4. It could be. It's either cover 2 or cover 6, right?
Because I'm looking at the corner at the top, and that throws me off. He literally stops 5 yards off the line of scrimmage.
You're right.
And I'm just like, that's
no,
not
you're
our
right.
one.
So it's either cover 6, which is a half field from the weak side safety, and then a cover 2 from the strong side. That's a cover 6, or it's just a straight cover 2.
And he lets them get that outside release by mistake.
Yeah. We don't know. We're not in the huddle, but it's one of those 2 calls. I would guess. I'm a big cover 6 guy, by the way. So I think this is cover 6.
I don't know if it's cover 6. I think it's cover 2, and he just stays with the guy because he has no other threats. He's waiting for that number 2 to come outside. He never does, so he just kind of keeps going because he sees he's throwing the ball right now. He's already throwing the ball. 3 steps, catches the ball, 2 steps.
This linebacker shoots the flat. That's what makes me think it's a cover 6.
Does he? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's just reading his eyes.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
I mean, we don't know.
The timing of it is what throws it off.
Yeah, the answer is we don't know. That's the real answer. But
so
great
Sauce,
throw.
Sauce says cover 3, and I'm like, nah, that's not. That's one thing we do know. We know it's not cover 3 for sure.
But that is a great. This is a great read by Love. Great throw.
Yeah, so now you just showed it from this angle. The linebacker doesn't shoot the flats until Love's throwing the ball. He's just reading his eyes.
You're right. So
he doesn't take a step outside until now. He's going to the flat. Yeah.
So you think it's cover 2, but not
so
man.
The corner was just trying to. The corner was just trying to help out, but he allowed the receiver to get an outside release and screwed his safety. That's what happened. He lost that at the line of scrimmage.
So you think it was a cover 2 flat, maybe, where they got flats, and they got deep.
Right, but he's still going to sink until he sees something attack his zone to the outside. So because that corner at the bottom has nothing else attacking his zone, he just keeps floating and finding work, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is happening.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's reading the 2 receiver to get this out right here, right?
And because he never does, he just keeps sinking.
Yep. No, I think you're right. Now that we've analyzed it. Because look at him. Yeah, you're right. You're actually right. Because look at his eye. Look at this corner's eyes. He's on 2 receiver, and he's like, he's going vertical. I need to get vertical, and it's too late.
Yeah.
But this is what Jordan Love can do. Like he's good. He's a good passer. Like it is what it is. He's a good passer.
Yeah.
So buckle up, Jags secondary. Buckle up.
Hey, but we got Tyson Campbell back, man. We might have Dewey back. You know,
Dewey's not coming back.
But let me hope. Let me hope. I just want to hope.
Peterson said today he expects Dewey and ETN to be back next week.
I know, but Peterson be lying. I don't know.
He
does. He's not lying. Injuries.
That's the thing. He doesn't lie about injuries.
Yeah,
like injury report that he doesn't lie about. Everything else he does though. Yeah.
Right. That was in jest, people. All right. He's not lying. Injuries.
No, he does lie.
And he's not a medical.
He looked at us straight in the face at the end of the 2023 season and said they still have full hope in Luke Fortner.
Oh yeah. I mean that was absolutely a lie. Injury lies. Yes, injury lies.
He doesn't lie.
No one. Yeah, no one had confidence in Luke Fortner. We knew that, man.
Oh. All right, let's get to some comments. How about that? How do you feel about that?
Yeah. We haven't talked about these in a minute.
Yeah.
What's going on, y'all?
Robbie Santis, go to the slab for the tailgate. So here's I'll give you the pros and cons of the slab. Pros and cons.
Okay. Yeah, let's do this.
Pros, you'll see a lot of Jags social media figures. That's the best way I could say it. You'll be like, oh, that's this person. That's this person. I know them.
Mm-hmm.
The con, unless you're a degenerate shot-taking drinker, you're not going to have a lot of fun. I'll be honest with you.
So if you are a degenerate shot-taking drinker, you will have fun.
Go to the slab. Another con, it's like the furthest lot from the stadium. Another con.
Also true.
Yeah. So, but again, you can. There's they have tents with merch, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Me personally, what I do is I usually walk over there, take a lap And I'm like, yeah, let's go back to the better tailgates. Just me
Right,
personally.
right.
Yeah.
You go to the slab to have to mingle a little bit, be seen, then gonna do whatever you
Yep.
want to do.
Yep. Exactly. So yes, good. Very, very good. And actually, Cam Boisvert, last time I saw Cam Boisvert was at the slab. So I get that. And Cam's a
Okay.
good one. So you guys don't understand Cam. You don't understand Cam. So like I'm I'm like 99% sure I'm right, but like Cam used to live in like Pennsylvania and he would like drive down for home games. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So like Cam is legit. All right. Cam is legit.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will say that about Cam. I think now though he has moved to Florida. I want to say Orlando or Tampa. So in your neck of the woods.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
moved down here, which we're all happy about because now he can come to games all the time and not drive 170 hours to get to a game. Yeah,
Cam, you was out here driving 13 hours one way to a Jacksonville Jaguars game, bro. Legend.
And listen, I'm not trying to air Cam out. I'm not trying to air Cam out because I'm not like that. I will say though, Cam would drive down and be with like two chicks and be like, yeah, they came with me. I'm like, oh, okay, Cam. Okay, Cam. I see you.
You better hope Cam's not listening. You better hope Cam's not listening to this.
I don't want to cross the
with
line.
a girl in the room.
I don't know, but it was always like
man.
I was always like, all right. I'll leave it there. Robert Ayers says, well, nice theory, but Nico Collins was out.
Nico Collins was out. Sure.
So,
yes.
all right. But wasn't he out in the Jags game too? And they beat us? Like there was someone out. Either Nico or Tank was out in the Jags game.
They were missing somebody.
Yeah, they were missing one of the two.
They were missing one of the receivers. Yeah.
Yeah, they were. Guy was leading league in yards.
Nico.
Yeah. Start Jordan Love on your fantasy team.
I mean, you're not wrong to think it.
You're not
but,
wrong.
I mean, I'm being real, dude. Like we are one game from this city going crazy positively, and one game from this city just like, hello darkness, my old friend.
And
like
that's
we
what one
know
of
it's
the early
coming.
comments was whatever it was about the wind test or weather vane, whatever that comment was. It was spot on. It was like yeah, because the schedule doesn't get easier after this. So
such a slate. Yeah, nobody cares if you win like whatever it is 4 of the last 5 games against the sorry part of the schedule. At this point, at that point, the season's over. You may as well lose them. So yeah. These next 4 games, that's it.
And we also thought the 2023 Jags were going to win 3 of the last 4, and they ended up winning 1 of the last 4. So their defense worries me. Defense is good. They got Robert Saleh out there. Did you see that, Travis?
I saw that. And he's helping them with offense by telling him what he would do against their offense, essentially.
I mean, he was a coach for the Jags in 2016. He was. So he might have some inside info.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm just kidding. He was a coach here, though.
My point is he's a good defensive mind to help someone. Hey, this is what I would do against your offense. I don't think that's wrong. Like I think he's good enough in that way.
And why would you not bring in a former head coach from the same season? That's just smart.
Who you have a long relationship with. Like they've apparently known each other for like 20 years.
Right. I mean, that's a as a consultant, that's the job. That's the dream job. Travis, we need to start a business. We need to start a consulting business. We need to start a consulting business.
Shad could hire me right now for I mean, just pay me double my current salary, bro. And I will consult you on any and all things Jacksonville Jaguars.
Football consultants. We'll do how to talk to the media. We'll do your scouting. We're not going to do your scouting. We'll consult you on your scouting. And then like the dude that yells, the guy they have that comes on like the third quarter, that's like, all right. We're giving T-shirts away, and the Jags are down like 50. Yeah, they need a consultant to be like, don't do that. They just like, hey, like I know like you're paying him, but maybe let's not bring him out this week. Like let's just pay him and have him sit where he was sitting.
I can consult you. Don't hire Urban Meyer. don't put Trevor Lawrence's name on the stadium in week 1. Oh, sorry, week 2 after he, you just took the ball out of his hands in week 1. Push that back a week, maybe. Like just small stuff that could help save millions of dollars.
Travis and Jason's consulting group. What do you think? You think that's a catchy name?
T and
T&J Consulting.
T&J Consulting. I like it.
Yeah.
LLC. Don't steal it, y'all.
Robert Adrian says, well, if they try to stop Tank, let Trevor rip it. Trevor's good against zone.
Yes. But that still goes back to what I was saying earlier. It sucks, man. Because again, Tank's better at running the ball from under center, and Trevor's better at throwing the ball out of shotgun. And you generally don't want to have Tank in the game in shotgun because he doesn't run well from that situation, and he also struggles at at catching the ball and at pass protection. So it's just like, bro, you are so limited in what you can do without giving stuff away or just struggling to do, like, if you want to try to throw the ball to Tank over, like, it's just such a weird fit. So yes, if they want to stop Tank, let Trevor whip it, great, but that's still kind of limiting what you're helping the Green Bay defense basically, just from your alignment and your personnel.
You have insanely convinced me through this show. You're like one of your first points about Trent Baalke drafting one-dimensional players. This is just another point of evidence that like Tank Bigsby, what he does best and what Trevor Lawrence does best are not the same. And
Right.
so like you have to put Dearness Johnson out there in shotgun, and you have to put Trevor under center with Tank Bigsby's in, and that's like weakness on weakness. Why don't we get guys that complement each other?
Because well, this goes back to 2 things. Now, we talked about this maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point, is you have an offense from Doug's perspective who doesn't really have an identity, and they never did. Even since 2022, they never really had an identity. And you have a general manager who's having the draft for an offense that has no identity. So in this way, I'm going to say I actually don't blame Baalke. There's a lot of ways that I do blame Baalke, don't get me wrong, because he's just not good at his job in general. But in this way, I blame the coaching staff. If you don't have an identity in what you want to be, then how do you draft for what you want to be and you don't know what that is? Like, you don't want to be a team that's able to run the ball until you say you do 2 years 2 years down the line, and it's like, all right, cool, we've drafted for 2 years for something ambiguous, something I don't know what this is, you know what I mean? And now you're drafting specifically to be able to run the ball, to be able to be dominant up front, whatever. And so at this point, it's just Trent's out there just drafting the best players he can draft, and you build the team however you want to build it, Doug. And that don't help for scheme, though.
I think Doug's, and again, you're right, they don't have an identity, but if I trace it back to like the Andy Reid tree, that identity is take what the defense gives you. We see it every year with Mahomes, and like, just like some years he pops off with numbers, some years he doesn't, but they always win because they take what the defense gives you. And I think you have to have a certain element of skill set across all the positions to be able to do that, which I don't think the Jags have. So I think on offense
has been struggling, though. That offense has been struggling for 2 years. Even the Chiefs, they've been struggling for 2 years. Basically, they've been struggling. They've been just like Doug's offense that was at the highest when they first, their first few years. And then it's just been this ever since. And that's not significantly different. And that's with Pat Mahomes, who's a freaking mutant. We obviously don't have that.
I mean, but they still win games. And like, if you would have like removed this year, you couldn't blame Pat Mahomes. But if you include this year, they're winning games in spite of Pat Mahomes. So
they're winning games for the defense and running game, and Pat's actually turning the ball over a lot. But when he's not turning the ball over, they're really dang efficient. Yeah. Like, they are scoring on the majority of their drives when they're not interceptions, which is just a weird thing to say about a Pat Mahomes offense. Like,
yeah,
it's just they just muck the game up, and they have 6 and 7 minute drives all the time, so they're just getting limited possessions, and they're beating you at the end of games. But every team can't do that.
Let's do a little sidebar here.
Yeah.
And I apologize for not like letting you think about this before asking you because this is coming out of left field. What do you think DeAndre Hopkins does in that Chiefs offense? Do you think he's
Ooh.
efficient? Do you?
Well,
Uh,
they don't have any real receivers that can do anything. Like they're going through the same situation, in my personal opinion, that the Jaguars were going through last year. Uh, as far as as far as their receiver room is concerned, because they're limited with Hollywood not being there. They're limited with a lot of fast guys, but they have no one who's going to complete a contested catch when you're down to it. Like even Kelsey's slower, so Hopkins can be that guy. He can be your big slot and just give you those contested catches, those dig routes, and everything else. I think that's a solid situation for them because that's a role they simply don't have.
yeah.
And Kelsey's getting older, and you see
Yep.
he's not being used very much. So you may have a second guy who can just give you those when you're trying to win at the margins. You kind of have to have that guy in the offense. No different than us. We're trying to use Gabe Davis in that way. It's just not working because he was never a contested catch guy, and that's not Gabe's fault. That's our fault for bad scouting. But yeah, they're going through the same thing we're going through, and that's why I say some of their limitations in their offense is scheme related, and it's the same damn scheme.
Yeah, that's well said. I'm glad you said it because that's what I was thinking. I just couldn't think how to say it, which is why Travis is the best because he can formulate sentences that I'm thinking and he can actually say them. So that's why we love you, Travis. That's why we appreciate you. Ethan Donadio gives $2 and says, I'm excited for the Foyer return. So this leads to an interesting question.
Yeah.
How much does he play this week? Like,
how much does he play?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be on a snap count, right? Am I crazy for thinking that?
A regular Foyer game is
I know
90 to 95%. So
is that what
so
you're
if
expecting?
a regular so if a regular game is 90 to 95%, 70 to 75?
There's two factors you have to think about. The level of play of Ventrell Miller and the Ryan Nielsen scheme of the hockey substitutes. So do you think he plays that much?
Well, the hockey substitutes, they have to increase now. You don't have a choice. Like, you have to increase the hockey substitutes. So what that means, Ventrell Miller is going to have more of a presence on the field. I actually earnestly believe that. And that's why I say he may go from being a 90-95% snap count player in his first week back to maybe being like a 70% player. Like, I can legitimately see that. I just don't know who the third guy is in this rotation. That's the piece that I don't know. I don't know if it's Miller versus being Lloyd.
That's what I was going to ask you. That's actually what I was going to ask you next.
Oh, yeah. That's the piece. I don't know where they're going to go there. Because I think people will be a little pissed off if they turn around. If this is Sunday night and we're looking at the snap count and they're like, Ventrell Miller got 30% of the snaps. I'm like, really? But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. What are they seeing? Like, because it's going to probably come down to coverage. We know Miller's really good at run stopping, and Lloyd has actually been moderately solid these last few weeks, at least in it. But the opportunities for both of them is in the passing game, where Foyer's actually been good this year, weirdly. So, don't know.
That's the thing. It's like Miller is better than Lloyd against the run. But Lloyd is better than Miller against the pass, but neither are good against the pass. So it's like, who gets the snaps, which is a tough.
And for me, when Miller messes up in the passing game, the man messes up as a freaking missile. Yes, like,
I agree.
He does, and I respect that.
Yeah, full speed. If you're gonna mess up full speed.
And I respect that madly. Like, I respect it even when Mooma messes up. As long as he's messing up full speed. I don't appreciate sometimes when Lloyd messes up and I'm just like, dude, I don't know what you're doing, bro. Like, you're out there lumbering. I need you to just go somewhere. Do something. Like my mom used to tell me, hey, boy, get my face. Just go and do something. Go somewhere.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
So,
and now I mean, we're on the same page there. Yeah, we are. DJ M says, Jason's on. I like that. He said, just got out of work and I made it live. Well, I appreciate it. We're almost at 300 people watching, which again, thank you, Travis. I appreciate that.
On a Friday doing baseball and isn't there a college game on that?
Yeah, there's a bunch of college games on.
Yeah.
It's, if you would have ever told me that, like, hey, 300 people would watch you talk about the Jags, I would have been like,
The Jags and everything else.
and everything else. Yeah. Like, I'm not a big reincarnation guy. I'm not a Hindu or a Buddhist, whatever it is. I think it's Hindu. But if you were to tell me that 300 people were watching me talk about the Jags, I would have probably credited it to maybe a previous life. I don't remember me doing good things. That's what I would say. So I don't know. I'm not a Hindu, though. I mean, no offense to Hindus. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I took a world religion class in college, so I'm qualified to talk about Hindus, I think. I don't know.
Nice.
He says all I want is a close game. Yeah. That's actually that might be the comment of the night, to be honest.
So I thought this was a weird one that I wanted to just run by you. Is there any world in your mind, now, I don't care realistic or not realistic, is there a world where you can see the Jaguars winning by 10 plus points?
No.
And I was hoping, just I can't see it, but it's any given Sunday, just stupid stuff happens, just ridiculousness. Right. I don't know.
That's the only way. Like, if the Packers are just riddled with penalties, random turnovers. I didn't clip it, but there was a punt in the Texans game where the punt returner dropped it, or not even dropped it, bounced in front of the punt returner and then bounced back and hit a Packers player, and the Texans got it at the 10. So if something like that happens and Jordan Love has a 2 interception game, plus riddled with penalties, plus the Jags control the clock with Tank Bigsby, then yes, because the NFL is full of parity, but now we're kind of not playing the odds. But there's a world where that does exist.
I got you. It was just one of those weird things that I'm just I can see Green Bay winning this in a blowout. And I can even see Jacksonville losing or winning this on the margins. You know what I mean? I can see that. But that was the one outcome I couldn't just figure out in my head.
Yeah.
How do the Jaguars win that big?
Like I said, I feel like those things would have to happen.
Okay.
Just based off the games the Packers have played and the games the Jags have played, which is what we can go off of. It would have to be an anomaly of a game for sure.
Jaguars,
but those happen in the NFL.
Yeah.
Those happen.
Yeah.
Those happen. Cam Boysworth says crushing it. Thank you. He says he's crushing it because now he's living in Florida, which
yeah.
Lugs, channel member. Sounds like Cam had an interesting drive down.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Listen,
that's why he came to Florida.
We're not getting into the details. Listen, what happens in a vehicle from Pennsylvania to Jacksonville stays in the vehicle from Pennsylvania to Jacksonville. That's all we're gonna say. I expect us to go 2-6 since no one has yet been fired.
Yeah. If they go 2-6, it ain't got nothing to do with whether or not guys have given up. It's just the fact that they're not good enough. And again, this is the hardest part of our schedule against some dang good teams 4 weeks in a row, and this is the start of it. We don't have to put in. Damn the locker room part. This is what it is. This is football reasons that they should not win these games. Packers, Eagles, Vikings, Lions. I think the only team that maybe the Eagles and Vikings sandwiched in the middle, they might have a chance with the Vikings' recent injuries to their left tackle. Which speaking of, dang it, who said it earlier today? Someone said it earlier today. What might have been Pete Prisco. And if I'm wrong, please forgive me. It's basically stated, the Vikings should think about trading for Cam Robinson. And I'm like, ooh, now that's a good one. The playoff team just loses their left tackle. Left tackle coming on it off of basically entering into an expiring contract in Cam Robinson. I don't know what they'd give, but it would have to be more than most other teams. It's based on that situation.
What would they have to give for you to be okay with trading Cam Robinson?
Anything.
A seventh?
All right, I'm obviously being a little extra.
No,
but,
I know. I'm putting your feet to the fire
realistically, fourth, conditional fourth.
There's no way.
Conditional fourth.
There's no way.
I said conditional fourth. Conditional meaning playtime, based on playtime, basically. Like
he's
if you
gonna
give
play.
me a fifth round draft pick and you have a condition that he plays enough snaps, uh, whatever it may be. Actually, it was Pete Prisco, CBS. Basically, yes, that the Vikings should try to get Cam Robinson because he's on an expiring contract. So is Walker Little. Jaguars, we know they're not going to re-sign these guys. Do something.
Okay,
Get
to be
something for him.
fair, Cam Robinson is not on expiring contract. We can get out of his contract next year, and it makes sense. But he's still under contract for a couple years. Walker Little's contract is actually up next year. So it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Like
It's not the same thing, but it's basically the same
well, not
thing.
for the Jags, because if you believe in Cam Robinson, you can keep him. And all things considered, it makes sense to keep him if you believe in him. I just think no one believes in him. So that's kind of,
if I'm not mistaken, it was 22, 23, 24. No, it was a 3-year contract extension in 2022. Yeah,
No.
I'm not crazy.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, his contract's up this year. I'm looking at it on over the cap right now. I'm like, wait a minute, was I crazy here?
No, you're right.
So yeah,
No,
right. It's up now. So they're both expiring contracts this year. Hey man, you get something for him versus getting nothing for him. So if the Jaguars lose, and I said this is we might know as early as Sunday after the game. If the Jaguars lose this game, I think it's on the table. If the Jaguars lose the next 2 games, I don't see how you don't trade one. It's actually more egregious not to trade one of those guys and not get something back for 2 expiring contracts with the team who has a need at tackle.
Wow, you're right. Okay. I was wrong about that. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if they're, I mean, that makes sense. A 5th, conditional 4th. But the thing is like, I could see it more being like a 6th, conditional 5th. I know this is like semantics and minutia.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But if you can get something for something that you already spending that kind of money on this contract.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right.
Give Walker Little his snaps and just see what lands, see what happens. I mean, you may have a chance. You have a prayer to keep Walker Little in the fold if he ends up having a great end of season and you end up firing the GM and having a new GM come in who maybe expresses confidence in him, something like that. You might have a chance of actually getting him to sign back on. Maybe, who knows, man.
I think they're gonna move Anton Harrison to left.
Oh yeah. I mean, I believe it should be on the table if it's not.
I mean, I think it is, and I think that's what happens. So I think, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Just getting a new guy next year. Yeah.
Let's see what Timmy Devil says, because he's what we call the realist around here.
We love Timmy Devil.
He says exactly. They've always had a different game plan every game, no consistency at all, and have an identity. With Zay and Marvin Jones Jr., they at least ate the middle of the field in some deep shots.
Yeah, MJJ, they missed them contested catches, man.
They
underrated. They underrated what it was.
I don't know why I couldn't like put my thumb on that term as being what's missing, but like when you say it, that's exactly what's missing. It's like
it was his contested catch rate. It was the one thing that he was really dang good at, and they were never able to just like replace it.
No, you're right. You're spot on. All right, we get to a few more comments, and then I gotta let Travis go. / I gotta play some Call of Duty 6. So either way, Volkfang says, "I'm curious. What is the one stat that will make or break the game?" I mean, turnovers is the easy answer. If you were to besides turnovers,
all right. Besides turnovers,
yeah.
I mean, if we're doing besides turnovers, then we already established my line in the sand. It's turnovers and running. It's turnovers and run yards. So who can control it's not run yard. It's time of possession specifically.
Yeah.
So it's turnovers and time of possession. If Jacksonville can win this in one very distinct way, and that's getting the ball via turnovers and milking that clock like Cincinnati, milking that sucker like you work on a farm, and that's the hope.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. And you could say that for every game, to be honest. Is there okay? How about we take out turnovers? Have
we won the time of possession in any other game this season?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because our offense can't stay on the field. If you were to say, let's take it a step further. you take out turnovers, you take out time of possession. What's the next stat we would have to win the game?
I mean, Lord, now we're getting into red zone probably. Like just the thing that we know historically just struggle at. So red zone, when you do get down there, you actually have to capitalize. The few games that we have won this season, it was because we did better at red zone. Not even good. They don't have to be good. Just better than our, 20% in the red zone.
Average. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. How about I throw this one at you? Average starting position. Does that do anything for you?
Not for this team, no. We'll just start at the 40 and go 3 and out. Like, that don't change nothing. Come on, man. If that kickoff not going for a touchdown, it don't matter. Like, this is the Calvin Ridley phenomenon all over again. When that dude would get a pass interference and then go down to the 5-yard line and we have to kick a field goal because we couldn't move the ball. We can go down. We can talk about explosive plays, maybe. Maybe it's something like that.
Oh, I like that. I do like that. I didn't think about that. That's good.
Yeah.
Timmy Devil says offsides, 12 men on the field, legal shifts, offsides, holding, O-lineman up the field. How on earth don't think we can win with game with this crap?
Yeah, we didn't even have a lot of penalties in the last game, but we always were very bad about having these untimely ones, man.
They're always the worst timings, dude. Like those Trevon Walker illegal hits to the quarterback are at the absolute worst time possible every single time. And that's why I respected when he picked up Caleb Williams and dropped him. I was like, that's a man that's had so many illegal hits on the quarterback called on him that he won't even tackle a quarterback. That's crazy.
All right.
Cam says, I bet you guys are crushing it. Oh,
I thought he was talking about he was crushing whatever he was doing in Tampa. All right, cool.
He is crushing it. He is. He's trying to play the humble card. That's a typical Travis card. We don't allow that around here. Walker Little looked good against a bad D-line and now ship off Cam for nothing. Travis, I expect better.
I mean, I don't care which one you ship them off. But one of them got to be shipped. Amazon calling, baby. Somebody got to go. Everything must go. Maybe even you. Like, I don't know. Bro.
Maybe we'll trade Timmy Devil. I will tell you, there was I like randomly peruse like the job boards. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
There was a job for Locked On Mississippi State Bulldogs. Okay. They pay $25 an episode, and they expect you to do a 30-minute show a day. So let me ask you this, Travis, because I had this thought through my head. Could you, I know you could, but would you take a job like that? Would you, because it's not a ton of time, it's 30 minutes a day. You could probably like wing that for a bit. Would you take on a job like that to cover like on the side a team like Mississippi State Bulldogs for $25 an episode?
No. But we've already talked about this. Like, I've turned down opportunities to cover the Tampa Bay Bucks. I've turned down opportunities to cover the Orlando Magic. Like, I don't do this because I need the money. I actually turned down 2 6-figure jobs in my life already. Like, I'm not that guy. I don't need the money. I'm here for the love of my, like, I love my life. So as long as my family's happy, I'm cool. And as long as I love my team. So I am an actual Jacksonville Jaguars fan. The fact that I get paid to do this stuff, hey man, this is dope. Like, that's where I'm at. So hell no. I won't cover a team that I don't like because I don't need to. Frankly.
Okay. This is a personal question from me. Okay. Personal question from me.
Yeah.
That mindset that you're describing is very admirable. And
okay.
Especially referring to turning down the 2 6-figure jobs. Before you had kids, did you have that same mindset?
Hell no.
So you think it changed when you like had a family?
All I ever wanted to be was a dad, was a dad and a husband, like legitimately, real talk. That was always when I was young. I was like a lot of stuff to unpack there, so I'm not gonna make this to a therapy session.
I'm honestly, I'm genuinely asking for me. Like, I'm genuinely asking.
So I'm not going to make it to a therapy session because there's reasons in my life and things that happened when I was young, certain people that died, this stuff that happened that made me who want what I wanted. But I wanted to be a husband. I wanted to be a father. And when I got the wife that I was praying for forever and then got the children, despite sometimes messing up on their grades, doing well. Generally speaking, they're really dang good children. I ain't risking that for nobody. F that money. Like the money, no, yeah, F that money. Like I can figure that out, and I'll be just fine. And I'm probably like 5 years, maybe 6 years from paying off this house, bro. And I have no debt at all whatsoever because accounting major, had a very good job.
Right.
I've been very fortunate. All that stuff, like I work hard, whatever. All that to say, I'm not risking that family, and I'm not risking these kids loving me for something as simple as something as easy to come about as money. Nah, bro. Nah, you gotta keep the first things first, and first things first is this happiness and this family, bro. That's what it is.
Okay, I'm gonna dig a little deeper here, and again, not digging deeper into your past, but just for your information.
It's fine, bro.
Do you think that that mindset was pre-existing before your family, or do you think once you had your family, that mindset was a little like? Do you think that came about
So,
after? Because
ooh,
you said you
this is
wanted to be
fun.
a
This
dad,
is
you wanted to
fun.
be a
This is
husband,
fun.
but did becoming a dad and
I
becoming a
got you.
husband kind of
No.
instigate those more?
So no. So there's two lanes in this, right? So when I used to work at a different company, I'm not even going to name the companies because I've had 6 or 7 different companies in my resume. I'm not getting anybody in trouble. I had a CEO at one of my jobs who was an adulterer, like serial adulterer. Like we would go on these vacations to all these different countries, and he every time he was always a different girl. It was always, but he wanted me to take him under his wing. He wanted me to like mold him into this salesperson that he was, because he can sell you the coat off his back, for triple the cost, whatever. That guy. And I'm like, Lord, I don't want to be nothing like you. Like
Mm.
we had to like legitimately have that conversation, and it became a little rocky because eventually he kept pushing it, and I'm just like, dude, I don't want to be nothing like you because you're a bad husband. And that was
Mm.
the weird. That was always where I was, and that's when I was single, having that thought process. So it legitimately, even before having the wife and before having the kids, was always like, I need to trust you as a person. I need to trust who you say you are to want to be like you, to want to go under your wing. So the money thing was always like a secondary thing. And this guy was a guy who was a millionaire, who was trying to take me under his wing, and I just didn't want nothing to do with that because I felt like you can find money anywhere. I'm an accounting degree. I've been doing taxes since I was 11. I know money. Like I didn't take my CPA license. I didn't try to go for my CPA license simply because I didn't want to. I just didn't want to sit in the cubicle. That's all it was.
Right.
Um, and that's really what it came down to it across the board. Like I just wanted to be happy, and I've always just wanted to be happy. And if I can get that through my family and through my friends and everything else, then I'm happy as long as I'm comfortable. And that's the biggest part. You got to be comfortable though. You need enough money to be comfortable. Like if you're making 40,000 and you're just struggling trying to make it happen, or 50,000 or whatever that number is for you to truly be comfortable and being responsible with your money, that's different, bro. Like, but if you can get to a point where you're comfortable, I get my bills paid off, I got savings, my family can take vacations, whatever. Bro, are you happy? Chase that now. Chase that happiness. You gotta find that. You gotta find that carrot, bro. Because otherwise, what's the point of all of this, bro? Why are you working?
I like that. That's good. That's good. So you kind of have to find your values first. You kind
I
of have
mean,
to like,
I would hope so.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So for those out there that are thinking that if they get into those types of situations, the values will follow, you're saying that you kind of have to establish your values first.
If you don't have your values, bro, you're gonna find yourself out butt naked in the cold in Michigan with all these random ladies who just like, you won't like what you look at. You won't like what you look like 5 years into the future, and you're gonna be like, "What the hell happened to me?"
Hmm.
Like, nah, man. If you don't have those values, it's gonna get hard out there.
Well, damn, that hit me hard. That hit me hard. So I appreciate that, Travis. Thank you. Thank you. This is why I like talking to Travis, because Travis talks the truth, and he has and saying a good head on his shoulders like undermines it because it's true, but it's much more than that.
Mm,
So
there's a lot of good people out there, bro.
yeah, yeah, okay, okay. Well, all right. So before we log out, because I got to play some Call of Duty, Carson's right. And DJ M says, "Have
Yeah.
you guys voted yet?" Which I mean, you could just yes or no, Travis. You don't have to.
No. We gotta do. No. We got the envelopes on the bed. We gotta do it
Okay.
this weekend. We actually
So
talked about doing
are
it
you an
tomorrow.
early voter? Or are you a election day voter?
I'm an early vote by mail voter.
I'm an
I take
election
the
day
vote by
voter.
mail. I take the vote by mail thing and I just drop it off to the place, so I don't have to stand in line.
I like going on election day in like where I vote. There's never a terribly long line, so I understand
Why?
it's not the same. But like I like it. It's just like I don't know. I just like it. I feel like
Why?
my vote. I
I'm
feel
just
like
trying to
my vote
understand. I'm
counts
trying to
more.
understand it. Let me understand you now. Why?
It's just like I don't know. It's just something. It's just something. I don't know. I literally could not explain it. It would make no rational sense. But I just like on election day going to the voting site, punching my ticket, and then being like, I did this on election day. It's just something about it. I just like it. So
I love a person, bro. I hate people. I
yeah.
love a person. I hate people. And you give me a big old crowd of people. No, I'm good. I like a person. Maybe give me a small group and I'm fine. But you give me a huge group, and that's why I say the introverted out. That introverted extroverted person. I'm fine.
So
I'm fine voting.
conditionally, the place where I vote never has terribly long lines. So and I know there's places out there that's not like that. So I'm
We've
not the same
established
boat.
you live by the beach, Jason. We know you. We know your voting precinct is like this huge arena or something, and no line, and everybody spread out. They're doing like American Idol auditions, like right around the corner. I'm sure.
It's definitely ideal. I will say that. It's definitely ideal. It's definitely ideal. All right. Well, everybody, we're at 300 people here watching. So everybody here knows
Man.
where to find you. It's all in the video description. But what do you have coming up? Like, is there an article you're looking at writing? Is there a topic you're going to be focusing on? What do you have coming up?
Well, we just did our staff predictions, biggest X factors from the game. If there's a player from the Packers that we would choose to steal for the rest of the season, who would that be? Things along those lines. Our biggest concern for the game, that's on bigcatcountry.com in our staff predictions article that was just posted today. So take a look at that. We also have the game recap from Sunday. We'll have the all 22 watch, basically our takeaways, musings, thoughts about the game after rewatching it. That should come out sometime Monday afternoon. And for the most part, any other breaking news that we have, perhaps a certain someone being activated off of an IR, that would be a breaking news item that could be coming in the next day or so. So definitely take a look at bigcatcountry.com. We are always here for all of your Jacksonville Jaguars coverage, man. And I appreciate you always having me, man, and giving me this avenue, dude. I absolutely do.
This is my favorite day of the week. It really is. Like I don't know why you and me vibe so well talking about Jags and everything, but we do, and I really love it. I look forward to it all the time. It's awesome. So everyone here already follows Travis, but on the offshoot you don't, please don't just follow him, but like gas him up a bit. Like go on there and be like, Travis is awesome. Do it. Like what? Like do it. Tell a friend about him. It's awesome. He does great work, and he spends 2 hours a week with me. That's respectable. That is mad respectable right there. So I appreciate that. Thank you to everybody that was in the chat. We had a bunch of channel members in here. A lot of people watching tonight. I don't know because the Jags won last week, or I don't know what happened.
A lot of Packers fans. That's what it is.
Maybe. And I'll take them too. I don't care. We had some super chats. Thank you guys for that. I will be on next on Tuesday night. Travis, when's the next time you're going to be on YouTube?
Sunday after the game. We'll do have the live recap. Duval Dive on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. That's the biggest way to support us. We appreciate you guys.
Yep, do that. Hit him up. I've actually already taken off work on Monday. So that's where I'm at. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And like somebody was like, isn't it a 1 o'clock game? And I was like, yep, it is a 1 o'clock game.
Dude, on 1 o'clock on 1 o'clock games, I still get home at 10 o'clock at night. Like those are long nights, bro. Like I can't even imagine what a 4 o'clock game is gonna look like when we finally get one next year at home. Sorry.
I get home at like 3 or 4 a.m., but I also participate in some extracurriculars after the game. So I don't know if all things are equal as far as that goes, but that's okay. That's okay.
Do you have two girls in the car? Is this what's happening?
No, I'm not Cam Boysford. I'm not Cam Boysford. I'm not. I wish I was. I wish I was that cool. I'm not that cool. I'm not that cool. All right, well, guys, thank you guys for watching. Check out Travis on Sunday night after the game, and I'll be on Tuesday, and we'll see you guys later. As always, go Jags.